Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and today I think I must confess that I made a mistake yesterday while looking at the markets. I did not anticipate the dead cat bounce that would possibly happen, but no harm done. I haven't lost too much as such, but I'll keep that in mind as we proceed with what we are doing today. Now let's look at our headlines out here, the ones that attracted my attention. The first one is that our fear and greed gauge is still at 4. So nothing has changed since yesterday, even though we may see the markets going up. Yesterday, President Trump had given an ultimatum to China that they should remove the counter tariffs by noon today, or else Trump is going to put another 50% tariff on top of whatever is already there. And China has said it will fight to the end. It says it's not going to back down. Also, treasury yields are little changed as traders try to understand what's happening with the US-China trade. Who is going to blink first? Is this all going to fizzle out, or are we actually going to get a 50% extra tariff on China after 12 o'clock today? Meanwhile, we also have reports Trump rejects offers to tear down tariffs, threatens more on China. China says it will fight to the end. So everything is getting reiterated in different media from Bloomberg as well as from CNBC. So that thing is continuously going on, and China is urging Shane to halt supply chain shift after tariffs, and Trump dismisses last gasp EU push to stop tariffs kicking in. So European Union is trying to be as mature as possible in this situation and has offered even zero tariffs. But now, as always with the Trump administration, the goalposts have shifted. Like when the problem was with Canada and Mexicans, first it started with fentanyl, and then started with border. So we really don't know what they are looking for. EU offered zero tariffs across the board, and they are now saying, Trump administration now saying that that's not it. Likewise with Vietnam also. Vietnam offered zero tariffs, but I have a press release where we have the Trump administration saying that tariffs is not the only thing. There are hidden barriers. They have to be removed. So this is going to prolong a little bit, and if you are expecting country by country going to the White House and negotiating with Trump, it's going to take ages. So things are looking very messy. Even billionaires are getting a little bit agitated right now. And we also have this last headline out here. I want to say Trump's tariffs leave economists fixated on one word, that is stagflation. So that's where we are right now. And I think what we have today is a dead cat bounce, and we should not think too much of this and assume that we are still in a bear market until proven otherwise. And I'll explain that the way I look at it from the TradingView platforms. So let's go and have a look at the economic calendar. There is nothing today. There is nothing major tomorrow, in my opinion. I think tomorrow FOMC minutes will be something that we might look forward to see if there is any rate cut possibilities, because if recession is likely to come in, we'll need rate cut. On the other hand, if stagflation is what is in store, rate cuts would not help, because in the past it has proved. And then on Thursday we have core inflation report, and this is going to be where we may have some action, because if inflation starts going up, then interest rate cuts are not going to be in play. And if inflation starts coming down, then probably there will be pressure on the Feds to cut interest rates. So that said, I'm looking at the stock market heat map. This is a 1 week performance. Everything is a sea of red, and my understanding right now is that even consumer defensive and all those sectors will go down initially, and then they will stop going down as much as the others and then stabilize. So we have not yet reached a stabilization level. And if we go to a 1 day performance, you will see that part of consumer defensive and yeah, I think it's still a bit confused. A little bit of consumer defensive is positive, and then we have JP Morgan and all in the financial sector. They're also looking positive, but I'm expecting all of these to go down further in the week until they come to a stage where they can't go down anymore, and that's when they will stabilize, because right now there is still premium in the price to earnings ratios for these. That has to come down. What is that level? I don't know. I'm just a retail investor, but if you guys have any ideas, if you read an article somewhere, please let me know. And then we go to S&P 500 futures. I'm going to just move this on to the futures. We'll start off with futures as always. I've removed a lot of lines which are making it confusing. Our bear flag target was already met and achieved, and then we fell down further. And what happened yesterday was we are exactly on the support at 5,002.25, and we bounced back up. We even touched the other support that we had. Now the next resistance we had was a minor resistance at 5120.50. We are already gone above that. So I'm thinking that we have the next resistance out here at 5,314, and then we'll come back down from there, and then probably we'll retest this minor line of support. I'm just going to turn this green to keep the chart contemporary. And if we break down from there, we're going to come here and test this, and then again move back up again and move above. So there is going to be a little bit of rebounding out there. We can't assume that our bull channel has started. For a real bull channel to happen, we need higher highs and higher lows to create that channel, and that is not seen as yet. So it is premature to assume bullishness has come back. And next we look at Nasdaq. Again, with Nasdaq, we touched this high level of support yesterday and came back. And today in our pre-market session in the futures, we are already above multiple lines of resistance from the previous day. So I'm just going to mark them green. No need to do any major narrative. It's similar to what we had in the S&P 500 section. And our next resistance for us out here is going to be this horizontal line of resistance at 18,553.25. And if we manage to break through that, then the next resistance is going to be 19,243.00. But I'm thinking that we can come down very fast, but going up is going to be step by step. So the candles on the way up are going to be progressively smaller, and then we are going to start coming down. And it's also possible that we may hit a resistance today at 14,495.25, which is this diagonal line of resistance, and start coming down again. We will have a little bit of support out here in the minor lines of support, and then we are expected to come back. MACD is also oversold, and momentum is also oversold, and MACD is also very bearish. So I'm just going to shift this back. I think it's not in the right place where I have it. I'll do that later on. I don't know how they shifted position between the MACD and the RSI. So I'll have to keep that in mind for today's session. Dollar index has gone weak again, and it's just below this area of resistance out here. And we have 10-year yields which have firmed up a little bit out here. And when the yields firm up, I think we are looking at money moving out of the stock market. So let us see what happens when the market opens. I'm still thinking that this is a dead cat bounce, and we are going to go in for a little bit of, I would say, gains in the value to trap a lot of bullish sentimented traders, and then it's going to come back down. That's the way I'm playing this. Now let's go on and have a look at indicators. This is where we left S&P 500 yesterday, just below the horizontal line of resistance of 5118.42, and this morning I think we have seen in the futures that we are likely to break through them and then come back again. So we need to have a lot of candles out here which start creating higher lows and higher highs to believe that it's going to be a bull channel. Right now we are not there, so I'm still thinking bearishness. I'm going to stay on the sidelines today. Nasdaq also same story out here. QQQ, we have already exactly met our bearish flag target, and then we bounced back again, and we just stopped below this area of resistance. I think it was at 434.73, and today I think we're going to convert both of these into supports, because we saw it in the futures market, and our resistance is going to be 450.25. And then if you look at the VIX is still elevated, and it has got a support out here at 39.93. Right now we are at 40.47, and it can change on a dime depending on what happens. If Trump says that he's going to back down on the tariffs, or going to find a way to save face and still give a signal to the market that tariffs are not going to be here to stay, then everything can change overnight. So please keep that in mind, and then that will be total bearish bullishness at that stage. And what else do we have here? Gold is starting to pick up. It hit the line of support and it's going to come back again. I'll try to pick up a little gold because it will go all the way to the resistance, and then we'll have to see what happens out there. Let us look at what's happened to XLP. XLP recovered a little bit yesterday, and pre-market I don't have anything out here, so we'll see when the market opens what happens to XLP. Now I'm going to go directly to AI, because that's what we want to do, and we have got NVIDIA first. NVIDIA ended just below this horizontal line of support out here at 99.27, which had become a line of resistance, and today pre-market we are still below that. We are at 101.88, and this is 99.27, so I think we are just above this level out here. I can't see it on the chart because the line is very close. The scale of the chart makes that line hidden under this, but for all practical purposes I think we should consider 99.27 to be a support for today, and I'm going to mark that as a support, and our resistance is going to be at 101.96. we are at 101.88. if we break this resistance out here, then our next line of resistance is going to be 105.97. that's the range for NVIDIA. NVIDIA at 99.7 is very inexpensive, so people are going to pile in, and that could see a lot of uptake this morning, but it can turn around as quickly. Meta ended the day at around 516.25, and pre-market it's at 535.75, which is somewhere out here. So our next resistance is going to be 549.77, and everything else before that has been converted into a support yesterday. So I'm just going to mark them green so that we can see that very clearly. So our resistance is 551.74, our support is 516.89 for Meta. If you go on to Google, MACD is also bearish, momentum is also weak, but we closed yesterday at 149.24, and we were respecting this resistance, which was at 152.04. But this morning we are already above that at 153.18. So our next resistance is 154.92. So I'm going to mark everything else before that as a support so that our chart is already up to date. Just going to do that quickly, so please bear with me. And so our support today is 152.37, and our resistance today is 155.24. Next, let's go on to Amazon. Amazon ended at 175.26 yesterday, and we respected our resistance at 180.31, but this morning we have already converted that into support, and we have our support at 180.31 this morning, which is being converted to a resistance in the pre-market trade. Pre-market we are at 181.87. So this is a support now, and our resistance is going to be 184.17. So we're going to trade between these two ranges. If we break above 184.37, then we are going to do this gap fill out here, and our next resistance is going to be 191.79 for Amazon. Amazon again has got a bearish MACD, and momentum is also oversold. And we have Apple. Apple is up 185.56 in the pre-morning trade, and it's up $4.09. So 185 is somewhere out here. So yesterday's resistance is being converted into a support. So we have a support at 181.95 today, and we have a resistance at 192.19 for today. And if you look at Microsoft, it's up 363.44 this morning. So we are at somewhere out here. So our support from yesterday at 346.00 remains, and our resistance today is going to be 367.67. And then we go on to Tesla. Tesla is up, and it has touched 240.65 in pre-market trades. And where is that? It's going to be difficult to check out in this. So I'm going to remove some of these resistance lines. We'll plot it again later on if required. We are at 240. So I'm going to leave these two resistance lines, and we have 233, which was a resistance, which has now become a support. And we had 241, which was a resistance yesterday and continues to remain a resistance today because we are at 240.63. So our first resistance for today is 242.02, and the next resistance is 250.35, and our support for today is 233.30 for Tesla. And then we go on to Oracle. Oracle is up 3.30% in pre-market trades. It's at 131.36. So our previous resistance at 125.96 now becomes a support, and our other resistance at 126.16 also becomes a support, and our resistance, which was at 135.71, remains for today. So that's the resistance for today, and the support for today is 128.01. AMD is up $1.42 this morning. It's at it's around $85 today this morning, which is somewhere around here. So our support from yesterday of 81.43 remains, and our resistance is going to be at 95.94 for today for AMD. SMCI is also up today. It's up 5.42%. It's at 34.79, which is not visible to me on the chart because it's under one of our lines of resistance from yesterday. Our first line of resistance from yesterday was 31.04. I'm going to mark that as a support because we are above that. Our next resistance was for 34.73. We are at 34.78. So we are just on top of this. So I'm going to leave this as it is. So our resistance for today is 34.73. And if we break through above that, the next resistance is out here. I'm going to increase the size of the pixels so that you can see it properly. It's at 42.80. That's the next resistance that we have for SMCI. Broadcom is also up this morning. It's up 6.46%. It's at 164.29, which is somewhere out here. So our resistance from yesterday of 159.59 has been converted into a support, and our minor resistance is going to be 169.48 for today. And then we go on to Palantir, which is again a very buoyant stock. It's jumped 4.21 in pre-market trades. It's at $81, which is somewhere out here. 81.12 is somewhere out here. So yesterday's resistance of 73.34 will become today's support, and yesterday's resistance of 84.10 remains a resistance for today. And of course, after that, I think I'd like to go on and have a look at Temu for our friend Hot Dog. Temu is up 4.82% this morning, and that is somewhere around here. It's at 44.76. So yesterday's resistance of 42.90 becomes a support today, and our next resistance for today is going to be at 48.58, which is this dynamic line of resistance that we see here, which has been coming to us from the past. So that's going to be the range in which Temu is going to be moving. So friends, that kind of brings me to an end of today's analysis, and I'm going to look at the chat section and start interacting with our subscribers who are on the chat section. Jorg is saying, I wish I knew I don't sell. Yeah, that's good, Jorg. And yeah, who else we have? We have Info out here. He's saying, good morning. Is it sell the rip Tuesday? I think possibly sell the rip Tuesday, but make your own judgment call, because I have been wrong yesterday. I did not see the dead cat bounce coming. David Best is saying, with these kind of movements in market, someone will go bankrupt. So let me see if I can project these chats out there so you can see. So David Best is saying, with these kind of movements in the market, someone will go bankrupt. Yeah, many people go bankrupt on a regular basis in these markets. Let me see if I can just improve this. I'll have to work with this Google chat overlays. I'll get better with that, I promise. But the full chat out here is that get ready for forced liquidation, unwinding of leverage position, perhaps a rogue trader or worse, banking giants. So David Best is letting go of his worst fears out there. And we have Hot Dog saying, until serious confirmation, have to assume we are in a bear market. Absolutely, I agree with that. Jorg is saying, I did right before the tariff drop in, but now I am too deep in the red. Yeah, all of us get trapped, Jorg. Inf is saying, oof. And we have Hot Dog saying, it's Tempest, Raj, not Temu. Oh yeah, sorry. It's Tempest. Yeah, Tempest was that for you. Sorry, guys. I made a mistake out there. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's what we have there. My game plan. I must say that yesterday I made a lot of profits, especially with FNGD. That was the only ticker that I was focused on. So I did a bit of double dip on FNGD. In this morning's action, my FNGD will be in a bit of a red, but I took profits in the thousands and my losses right now are in the hundreds. So I'm still positive on that. So my only focus is going to be on FNGU for trading, and my dollar cost averaging. I bought Google and I bought Nvidia for dollar cost averaging. I tried to get Amazon, I didn't get it. I tried to get Microsoft, I think I didn't get it. I'll have to go and do a check again. But that's where I am. I'm trying to do dollar cost averaging on the Mag 5s. I have not touched any of the genomics because I'm too scared to touch genomics. It's a very weak area, not only because of the way the administration is with regard to tariffs and the potential recession, but we also have RFK Jr. who can do anything, sitting as the head of FDA. So that's it's this kind of creating a lot of negative vibes for me when it comes to genomics. I still believe in genomics, but I'm not touching it with a barge pole. So friends, that's all I have. Unless you have anything else to say, I'm going to go for a breakfast, and we are going to be off with this. Okay guys, take care, have a great day. Again, I personally think that we are still in a bear market. This is just a dead cat bounce. I'm not trying to play the jump that I have out there. I might try to sell a little bit of Nvidia to capitalize on the jump, and also it has brought down my average cost, so it will add to my losses for tax purposes, but I can always buy Nvidia back again at the cheap. So I'm thinking that as long as I bought Nvidia at a cheaper rate yesterday and I sell it at a higher rate today, I am booking that kind of a profit. That profit is not going to be seen for me, but the taxman will see it as a loss. But the profit will be seen as a lower cost, lower average cost for my Nvidia holdings. So that's the way I'm playing it. Thank you, York. Thanks guys. Thanks York, Hot Dog, and Inf for giving me a support on this live stream. And I'm thinking that this channel is making me a better retail trader. And hopefully soon I'll have a lot of advice from all of you guys, and that can help me to consider something more in my trading and make me a much better trader. So enjoy your holiday, York and Hot Dog. Thank you very much. Bye for now. See you guys.